All right, so welcome back. This is video number 8. We're going to talk about sponsor posts. So congratulations, you've reached the end of this video course, and this is the last video. All right, so if you just started out with Instagram, it's obviously hard to make money right off the bat, right? Because you don't have anybody following you. But how do you grow your account rapidly? Well, there's actually a way. You do have to spend some money. So if you're looking for a free way to do it overnight or over a week span time, you're not going to be able to do that. So you're going to have to spend about weeks or so building up your Instagram profile. And the way you do that is simply by posting a lot of images. Now, using sponsor posts is a great way to leverage people who are bigger than you that have huge amount of followings. So you could either approach people to do this, or you could go to sites to do that, which is a lot easier. But this is not a hack. It's not a software. You're simply leveraging Instagram users with large followings. So I could approach somebody who's a scuba diver, maybe that guy who's not even selling anything, and ask him, hey, I noticed that you have 117,000 people. I was wondering if you would be willing to create a post for me directing people to my scuba diving product or something. You could even say, hey, I'll give you 50% cut if you do it for free or something. So you can negotiate in different ways doing that. But I recommend that you start out using some certain sites that I'll talk about in just a minute. So what you're doing is you're leveraging people who have followings and saying, hey, can you sponsor me, promote me, basically. Now, this is how big brands actually are able to build really fast followings. So if big brands are doing this, this is something you can do as well. So a lot of big brands have found that they can't just move into a market and just dominate the market. They have to gain trust. And the way they gain trust is they buy a lot of sponsored posts. So you basically pay them anywhere from $50 to $100 to get them to post. Now, some of these sponsored posts are really big Instagram users, and they'll charge you thousands of dollars. So obviously you can't start out with that unless you have a lot of money. You could do that, but I don't recommend that you do. But this is something that you could do and you can make money as well. So I'm really talking about this right now as of building your profile, but you can use it as you grow. Let's say one day you have 10, 20, 30,000 followers. You could also sell sponsored posts as well. So, like I said, a lot of brands realize they cannot reach specific audiences, especially because nowadays people want to connect specifically with people that they identify with. How do you go about leveraging small bloggers' audiences like these big brands? So what you do is you find Instagram influencers in the specific niche that you are in. You pay them, and you pay them to do a shout out. So you can do the same thing. You can easily get people to do a shout out about your profile, your product, and your service, which is basically your profile. So that's why building your brand is key. So you want to make sure you build somewhat of a profile first. Maybe spend about a week or so populating it with beautiful images first before you get people to your profile. Because let's say that you purchase a $100 shout out and you get people to your profile. If people don't like your profile, it's just like a sales page. If people don't like the sales page, they're not going to stay. They're not going to follow you. So you want to make sure that you populate it to a certain point where you have beautiful looking images. At least the 9 first images are really good. And you attract that specific type of person who is seeking that specific type of identity, that specific lifestyle. And then you start utilizing these methods to build your profile. So think about it. If you find a scuba diver user that has 1 million people driving scuba diving fanatics to your scuba diving training center, I mean, think about how many targeted prospects you're going to get, right? See how powerful this is? So let's talk about a short list of where you can go to actually do this. You can go to shoutcart.com and pay people money. The nice thing about this is you can come here, you can find people specifically targeting specific demographics and specific interests and specific hobbies. You can go to buysellshoutouts.com. You can even go on Fiverr.com, although I would warn you, if you go here, you'll notice that some of these Instagram profiles could be developed with software. The software generated tons of followers. They could be fake, so you want to keep that in mind. A lot of Instagram profiles have a lot of fake followers. So you don't want to be paying somebody $100 or even $500 for that matter to send somebody like fake people to your profile. So that's just something to think about on both ends and something to protect yourself with. So you can do this one little hack to build your profile, and as you grow, you can do the same thing and sell these types of sponsor posts. Now, keep in mind that when you do this, you do need to kind of let people know, hey, this is a sponsor post. Because due to FTC guidelines, you need to have transparency, and they want to make sure that you're letting your followers know, hey, this is a paid post. Somebody's paying me to post this, kind of thing. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this video course, and just go ahead, implement these methods. Really what it comes down to as a recap is finding that lifestyle, finding that identity, building that brand, and attracting the right person. So that really comes down to conversions, and then traffic and all that. The higher your conversions are, the higher you're going to convert your traffic. So rather than, you send 100 people and only one person converts into a follower, you could send 100 people and even 20 people or 30 people would actually convert into a follower. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this video course as much as I enjoyed teaching it. And without further ado, make sure that you implement and take action. Hello and welcome to video number 7, and let's talk about how to sell on Instagram. Now you understand that selling indirectly is what works. Let's talk about how you can make money. If you followed this blueprint, then by now you have understood how to create a true fan that loves and is willing to follow you. They want to buy because they feel connected to you. They feel that they have they figured out their identity, and part of that identity is part of you helping them, and they can feel better. So that's why they want to buy from you, is because people like to buy from people who they like. And people don't like to buy things from people they don't like. I mean, think about that. Pretty simple. So whatever you might be, scuba diver, business person, artist, whatever your brand might be, the question begs, how do you get people to buy your products? So we briefly covered a little bit about this already, but I'm just kind of recapping and re-emphasizing this. But what about your Shopify e-commerce store products? Well, you can simply create a store that showcases the product that fits the lifestyle that you are portraying on your profile. You can create quotes, you can create pictures, you can create inspirational images that talk about specific products on your Shopify store. So if you think about like a sneak peek preview for a movie, this is basically it. You could do that for a short period of time and say, hey, by the way, I was able to negotiate a special deal for you. And let's say you direct them to your Shopify e-commerce store. You could do that. And then you reveal that in the store, and you can say, for the first 100 people, I'm going to give you X% off, and then the price is, going to go up from there. So you can utilize scarcity to drive people to your store and buy those products. So you're thinking about, there's a little bit of marketing involved in this as well. So you can also do this with affiliate products or even products or services that you own. So let's say, for example, that you have a training course on the X niche. You create a Instagram lifestyle post that relate to people's lives after they take your course, perhaps. So you could show people who took your course. You could show maybe it's a scuba diving training course, and maybe how to start out with scuba diving as a newbie or something. So you could create posts related to that, posts related to, if you go through the training course, you'll be able to get to this point where, like me, where I am able to go scuba dive wherever I want to and do this and that kind of thing. You can also cross niches as well. You could have like a business owner who's doing scuba diving. Say, I'm able to go out and do whatever I want because I run my own business. And if you like to, check out this profile for my business, you can, or you can mix it in. You can be the scuba diving business person. You can mix the different niches in it. But just keep in mind that you don't want to deviate too much from that target mindset, because the more broad things are, the more general things are, you actually lose money that way. So the more specific, the better. So you can show the results and the benefits, and you're likely to sell without even having to sell. You don't even have to sell. But when it comes to actually selling and pushing the sales, you can insert a little bit of scarcity. You don't want to do too much, but a little bit of scarcity, like this is going to end at a certain date or a certain time, or there's only 100 people or 50 spots left. You can do that. That's fine, but don't do too much of it on Instagram. And that's why Instagram is so powerful, because if you don't like selling, you can sell really well just by showcasing your lifestyle, and that's it. Now, you can also leverage videos, and Instagram is allowing you to do that, but keep in mind that with Instagram, you have a very short video length, I think it's about 15 seconds or so, but a lot of videos you see that are 10-second clips. So they're really jump cuts, meaning they show what the person wants to see and then they jump to something else and jump to something else. So it's not like a YouTube video where you can extend it to like 10 minutes or something. So just keep in mind that they have to be really, really short. And another thing is, while this is one way to get more eyeballs, you don't want to show your company logo at the beginning of the video. So you'll see a lot of people do like intro videos or outros on their YouTube videos. You can't really do that with Instagram because you're going to lose their attention span. Instagram is quick, fast, easy, short, straight to the point kind of thing. So if you could explain your product, maybe the scuba diving gear, really, really fast, you could show the scuba diving gear. You could show you like jumping in, and putting it on, jumping in, and they have to be really short. So basically you can tell a story with 1 second here, 1 second here, 1 second here, versus a YouTube video. Of course, it would be more so like, you watch them, it's like 10-minute video or 5-minute video or even a few minute video. You just can't do that with Instagram. So you can actually lose eyeballs if you show an intro video on Instagram. So you don't want to do any of that. All right, welcome back. This is video number 6. It's called You Get One URL. So that's the reality is with Instagram, you get one URL, meaning one place to add your blog, your website, or your offer. It's not like Facebook where you can create a post every single time and put a URL directly to your offer. You get one URL, so you got to choose it wisely. So the question is, what URL should you use? So in this particular video, I just want to let you know that I'm going to talk briefly about the concepts, the fundamentals, and then I'm going to go to Instagram.com and I'll show you what we're looking at. All right, so with Instagram, like I said, you got to choose one spot wisely, right? Now, the secret here is because you're trying to build your brand and your lifestyle, the ideal place to direct them to is just your website, which could be your WordPress site. And then on your WordPress site, you have your blog, your website, and your offers all on that particular site. So the secret here is because you're building a brand, and because you're building a lifestyle, what you want to do is you want to still brand yourself. You don't usually want to just direct people to a sales page. People have taken the action to follow your profile, but they're still getting to know you, right? They're still trying to build that identity, build that relationship with you. So you still need to gain their trust. So here's a basic blueprint that you can follow, but from the Instagram profile, I recommend that you direct them to either a blog, your website, or an opt-in with free tips. So you're still trying to build their trust. They're still semi-cold traffic. If you send them to a blog with more content, more free information, then that's going to gain their trust. They're more likely to want more, right? Or if your brand, you can send them directly to your website and they can buy the products. But at the end of the day, you can use that. You can use an opt-in with free tips or a squeeze page to build your list first. Because what I found is that a lot of times it takes 7 to 12 times to actually touch the person, get to know them before they actually buy. So what I mean by touching or touch points means emails. So it could be 7 to 12 different emails after they sign up for a freebie. And you can email them using an autoresponder like getresponse.com or aweber.com and just build that relationship through your email autoresponder system. And then once you've built that relationship on a more personal, deeper level, then you can begin to sell things. So we don't advise you to put a URL there where you're selling a product straight. It's actually better if that link is going to your blog or a content piece with tips. Maybe tips on scuba diving, the top 10 things you shouldn't do as a newbie scuba diver, or the top 10 gears that I use. So if you think about that, you're telling them the gears that you use, and maybe you link them to affiliate links like Amazon affiliate links. So you're indirectly making money by providing free content. So that's another method of indirect selling. Now, make sure that when you do this, make sure you follow FTC guidelines and make sure to be transparent with people that you are making money anytime they buy through your affiliate link. By doing this, your goal is to gain their trust and create a true fan that loves you so much they spend at least 10 to 15 minutes per day following you, seeing, what's happening in your life, looking at the good times, the bad times, basically the life of your brand. Now, you might be thinking, well, what if I'm not a person? What if it's just a brand? Well, same thing. You can show the lifestyle of the brand, what the brand is doing, what the brand is going to do, like upcoming sneak peek previews of what the brand is doing. Because Instagram, if you notice, is a lot about curiosity, a lot about sneak peek previews. So that's the end goal. So what I want to do now is just hop on over to Instagram.com and let's talk about what we just talked about. All right, so Instagram is a mobile app, so I can't show you a ton, but I can show you at least a few things. But if you go to Instagram.com/Instagram, you'll be able to find the search bar. If you go straight to Instagram.com, then you'll be met with a screen that says you'll need to download the app. But as you can see here, you get one URL, and the one URL is going to be located basically at the top inside your description. So if you notice, if I take a look at some of these images, let's say this one here, you'll see that it has a lot of text. You got hashtags, so you could use hashtags as a means to direct people to a certain place, but you can't really enter a URL in here. So that's why that one URL has to be used wisely. Now you can see, like I said, with Instagram, their profile, you can see that they're directing you to their blog. They're still trying to gain your trust, right? So they've not directed you to a certain product, but of course that's Instagram. So they could direct you to Instagram.com, but for whatever reason, they chose to direct you to a blog. But let's go up the top here and let's type in scuba diving. And let's just choose this one here. So as you can see, this guy has 696 posts, 117,000 followers, and he is linking right here. So let's see what he's linking to. So scubadiving.com/. So obviously this person doesn't own scubadiving.com. It's a photographer spotlight. So it looks like they're linking here to show you that, hey, I am really a scuba diver. But what she could be doing is, if they wanted to monetize he or Beth Watson here, she could be directing people to a blog that showcases scuba diving and all that. Now, she's more into photography, so she's probably going to track people who are in photography. So it's not really going to be scuba diving equipment, but rather people are probably going to want to know, hey, what camera are you using? What equipment are you using? What scuba diving equipment are you using? And all that for the purposes of photography. So you see how in this example, it may not be necessarily she's selling scuba diving equipment, but rather than she's attracting a specific type of mindset. So you have to get an idea, like, who are you attracting? So in this case, scuba divers who love photography. This person obviously does not have a URL, so he's losing out on, making income, and that's probably not the reason why he's on here. But as you can see here, camping tent, 44,000 followers. He could be redirecting people to a blog, or you could also do a Shopify store. But a blog would be better because then you're still basically building trust, and you can send them from the blog to a lead capture page where they can get freebies and all that and build your list. So what I found over the years, as far as making money goes, building a list is key. If you don't have their name and their email address, or just their email address, then you're going to lose them and they're going to forget about you and all that. So that's why having a URL is so crucial. But those are just some examples of what you can do. You don't have to follow this step by step, but if it makes sense for you just to put a Shopify store, just do a Shopify store. Just don't think too much about it. But these are just some examples of what you can do with the one URL. All right, welcome back. This is video number 5, and let's talk about what creates inspiration so that you can inspire people, you can help people get ideas. So once you have an idea of how you want to go about creating your brand, creating your identity, and creating that lifestyle per se, we need to take a closer look at what really inspires people to follow you and become your fan. Now, remember, people come to Instagram to get ideas to bring back to either use practically, go buy something, or inspiration to add to their own identity, to their lifestyle, or whatever. So the question begs is, what inspires people? Or more specifically, what inspires the people that you're trying to attract? So your lifestyle, of course, or in other words, needs to be a true, honest life. What I mean by that? What I mean is that people need to see that you are truly living this lifestyle. Now, it might be a little hard if you're selling a product like an affiliate product that you have no lifestyle in. So let's say, for example, I am trying to sell a scuba diver lifestyle, but yet I am not anything related to a scuba diver. So in this case, I have to go and read more about scuba diving. I have to kind of indwell in it to the point that I get a better idea of what makes people mad, what keeps people awake at night, going to go buy something and all that. So what I might do is I might go to another Instagram profile and take a look at it, one that has a good following, and get a better idea of what that lifestyle would look like. I would even maybe go on Upwork.com and try to find somebody who might be a scuba diver, who loves that area, who's passionate about that area. And maybe I might try to partner with them, all right? Or I might go and try to find a scuba diver expert and get a better idea, maybe spend a day or two with them and get a better idea of all that. And the reason being is it's just a faster tracking of your success. You might be thinking, well, that takes time. Yeah, of course, because building a real business takes time. And I'm not going to sit here and say that you're going to make lots of money on Instagram really, really fast, because any business it does take time. But really what you're trying to do is trying to figure out and how does a scuba diver think? And then write down what inspires them. Look at the images maybe that get the highest likes, get the highest comments, and write those down. You don't need to copy them. You don't need to plagiarize, but you can just write them down, get a better idea, and use a program that which we'll talk about later on to create beautiful looking graphics that cater to that group to create inspiration. All right. So they want to know you're real. So you can't really fake real, right? You have to, that's why I say you have to find somebody who is either super passionate that you can partner with and do it from there. Now, for those of you who are, selling your own product and service, that's easy. You already live the life, so that's easy to create a lifestyle. But those are two different routes that you can take. So what inspires people? Well, let's talk about getstencil.com. Getstencil.com is a really cool, awesome web application that you can use to create really good looking images. So you can create really good looking memes. You can take, the research that you did previously and jot them down, jot the quotes down, find the quotes, utilize the quotes, but use getstencil.com to recreate that quote, recreate that beautiful, aesthetically pleasing photo, right? You can use famous quotes that are inspirational to your niche and all that. But getstencil.com is just one of many sites. I believe there is canva.com, canva.com. And there are a lot of other similar tools like that that will allow you to create beautiful looking pictures. Here's what you can do. As part of a lifestyle, you can create great looking pictures for your lifestyle, your gear, the tools that you use, everything related. So maybe as a scuba diver, you show the scuba equipment that you use. Maybe you have several different types of equipment. Maybe you're a Shopify store and you can say, well, here are 3 different types of breathing mechanisms that you can use, and you can do a review on them. You can show them. You can show what happened. You can even show the lifestyle that day where you tested throughout the day. Obviously, like I said, as a product owner, you can do this very easily. But if you're selling something like a Shopify store where you have no bit of knowledge of that, you can find somebody, you can talk to somebody about it, and you can look on YouTube, look on the reviews on YouTube and get a better idea, and then use those similar ideas but turn them into pictures. So you can also focus on creating ideas people can use, and you can go on YouTube, you can go on Pinterest. Pinterest is actually a really good place to find pictures that you could potentially use. But obviously, like I said, do not copyright, do not plagiarize, do not copy the image and use it, on your own. Recreate it, because at the end of the day, you want to keep yourself safe. You want to do your due diligence and follow the rules. So this is how you can sell indirectly. You're not really selling. You're just showing people your lifestyle, the things that you use, the things you don't like to use. You're basically building a brand and a lifestyle for people to follow. And eventually, people will follow you to the point, like I said, they like to follow their favorite celebrities, their favorite people, their favorite brands.